I feel I provide a legitimate service in that harbor, one that's necessary. I run a legitimate business, and I've done a lot of things, some even for the town of East Hampton. A couple years ago, on Saturday morning in February, I got a call from Ed Michaels, and the new push boat the town had bought was sunk at the Coast Guard dock. I mustered a crew on a Saturday morning in February. It was about 10 degrees. Go right to Ed to verify this. I raised your boat. I never sent anybody a bill. I've never done anything like that. I've been at the town's disposal for boat fires, groundings, and everything under the sun. I run a legitimate company. I've just given you a list of the people that are directly employed in my marine side of my business. If you look at them, I put salaries alongside of them so that you could quickly determine these are legitimate jobs with legitimate people. But if you notice the names there, I looked at them this morning. There's only one guy from Southampton here. Every other one of them is an East Hampton town resident. Okay? At this point, I just want to say that from my view, I'm getting my ass kicked by the East Hampton Town Building Department Code Enforcement on behalf of one individual on East Lake Drive. And I'm hopeful that by coming to you this way, I can get you to take a look at what's going on and decide what's real and what's fantasy.
Okay. Are the pipes still there?
No, the pipes were on site for 1 week.
And that was the week he was cited?
He moved it, no. Well, no, the citation came 3 weeks later, but the photographs that were provided by the complaint are very clear.
Okay.
The pipes, if you do the Memorial Day weekend thing, I think the pipe got put there on a Wednesday, and I think it got taken out the following Tuesday. Okay?
The complaint that came in was about the pipe, right?
That's what I've been cited for, and I went to Don Sharkey for clarification, because when I got the citation that said stockpiling construction material on site, I immediately jumped to the conclusion that they were talking about the pilings on site, and I went to Don Sharkey with the same invoices from Port Lumber that I've just put in front of you, intending to demonstrate to Don that that material was intended for that dock, which was in permit review at the time.
Okay.
Don made it clear to me that the summons was issued specifically for the pipe.
Okay. All right, so the person you actually need to get out to the site is the chief building inspector, right?
No, I think we should go too.
I'm happy to go.
I'll be honest with you. I have a real hard time understanding the basis of that memo. Okay? I have a very hard time understanding the basis of a few things that have gone on through the building department and code enforcement.
Right.
And I need some intervention here is what I need.
I think that's exactly true here. I mean,
I find it highly irregular that
is
individual's copied in on that memo, which looks like it's to all department heads and one person outside of the town.
Right.
And I can only assume when I read that was to acknowledge that he had acted as he had been instructed.
Okay.
This is very important here. This has been going on for a long time, obviously, and Mr. Grimes, a legitimate businessman here, is providing a service that is both referenced and that is important to the town, and both referenced to the LWRP and the comp plan as necessary for the good of the town. And I was a little dismayed when I saw that the memo from our chief building inspector was given to the person who is obviously his opponent in this issue. But be that as it may, we have the opportunity. Using the the code changes that John has suggested last year to make Mr. Grimes whole. And I think that we should do that as quickly as possible.
You're aware of that legislation?
I'm aware of it. John just explained some of the finer points of it to me.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a solution here. There's absolutely nothing I'm doing on that site that's illegal, environmentally threatening, or anything else. It's a very, perform
why
a
do
very
we need a code
necessary
change?
function in Harbor.
Why do
You
we
have a
need a code
site,
change?
excuse me?
Do we need a code change to,
Well, what happened initially was the building inspector's interpretation was the use wasn't provided for in the code at all.
Right.
And we have a blanket provision in the code that says if it's not permitted, it's prohibited. So,
Can I just
yeah.
interrupt, sorry, I just gotta ask you, but when you're saying that, it's basically, what you're really saying is that the use that he was accused of having is what's not permitted, but in fact, that's not what he does up there.
Well, the fact of the matter is, I am gonna operate a marine contracting
Right, so
you're
company
gonna
from that
still
site.
store materials.
In my
You don't need to.
interpretation of what that means, that means that I will have guys that will come and go from that site on a daily basis. They travel in pickups and vans.
Okay.
I will have the occasional lumber delivery to that site.
Okay.
And I will have the occasional crane
Right.
arrive on that site, do a transfer of one
Gotcha.
sort or another, and move on. At the moment, I can't spend 2 hours on that site without code enforcement and/or building department arriving, okay? I'm embarrassed and I'm humiliated in front of my crew when we're doing something down there and code enforcement comes through the door like it's a drug arrest, okay? There's nothing I've done that warrants that.
Okay, so that code change then would be?
Yeah, the idea was basically to, because he made the determination that it wasn't, real, and it's not, it doesn't seem to be addressed anywhere in the code. So we wanted to put it in the code, because there are other marinas that
doing
have
that, that's
There's
right.
similar
there are other
operations, so-
marine this is my
Yeah.
point
Yeah,
in
we-
all
we-
of this. There are other
wanna
marine
say something.
contractors in this town, and we all operate in a very, very similar manner, okay? I don't believe that there's any other marine contractor that has got the stack of paper from East Hampton Town that I have gotten, okay? And it's all being driven by one individual. In the letters that I've given you, the one representation that's clear there is that in spite of what he claims, this individual does not speak for everyone on East Lake Drive.
there's a distinction here that I want to point out, because I think your property is zoned waterfront, right?
I'm not,
It's not zoned resort.
I would have to
I
check.
believe it's one.
And waterfront is a special, not a resort. And so it makes sense that you have I'm pretty sure you are zoned waterfront there. And that's the reason for it. And you know, that has been abused in the other direction where we had a waterfront zone property that got a building and Billy Joel was upstairs writing songs about the sea, and that was their waterfront use. You're a legitimate, you really are what we wanted to have in that zone. That's why the zone was created, because we recognized that certain uses like that would need to exist along the water. So rather than just run some kind of a carte blanche code change, I mean, maybe we should be looking at things that are particular to the waterfront zone and look at what that allows and doesn't allow, and maybe that's how we could take care of this, is, you know,
Well,
certain
again-
marine contracting uses in the waterfront zone. That's what it's for.
Okay, I mean, again, the LWRP and the comp plan references his uses, his business in that waterfront zone.
But it may not scoop up other marinas that wish to do that sort of thing, because they may be zoned differently. They may not be zoned waterfront, they may be zoned resort.
No, indeed, and many of them aren't.
And so, but that's where we want it to happen, legitimately in a waterfront zone. That's what the zone was created for. So let's make sure, I'm pretty sure you are waterfront, because I think I checked that.
John just said he was.
It
It does,
is.
it
It's
cites it
waterfront
in
zone.
the-
And so what I'm recommending we look at is to look at the uses allowed